So we're on week 2 of meeting Lizzie here, all about mindset. She's a transformation coach and she has Permission to Be You, an online program that she helps ladies to feel really good again. So this week we thought we might want to have a little chat about I'll be happy when. So Lizzie, would you like to sort of introduce that subject and then we'll talk about it together?
Absolutely. Hi, nice to be here again. I'll be happy when is for me, it's something that we all tell ourselves, and I think there's a massive culture out there, isn't there, about having goals, whether they're weight loss goals or goals for our life or goals for our career or whatever it is, when we sort of, you've got to have a goal and work towards it. And in that process, we sort of set up this idea of, well, I can only be happy, I can only really be happy when I've achieved that goal. And so all the time that you spend along the way towards that goal, by definition, you're not happy, satisfied, whatever. It's not to say we don't have happy times in our lives, but it's that kind of, I can't really relax and be satisfied with my life until I get to this place.
So let's have some examples here. Let me just give me some examples. I'll give some examples of what I've heard in my 20 years of doing this. Obviously, Everybody that's listening to me knows probably that I was running a slimming club for 15 years. Mm-hmm. And so that culture was very much in that program, that you came to the class, you stood on the scales, and you would be happy when I have lost that amount of weight. And, it's going to make my life amazing. And really back in the sort of 20 years ago, we didn't really know much about mindset, and particularly in the group that I was in, it wasn't really taught to us at all, and we were just all about the numbers. So this was a huge thing. So I'll be happy when I lost weight. There'll be another one I'm hearing at the moment is I'll be happy when I'm gone through the menopause. And at the moment they're struggling through that menopause. This menopause can actually last about 10 years. So you're kind of wasting 10 years. What do you think to that one, Lizzie?
It's a long time to wait, isn't it? To kind of put, it's this thing of putting off your life, thinking that, I can't actually really enjoy anything until this thing happens. But I think the other side of that is that I'm sure that people in your group will be able to find examples in their own lives of when they have actually reached the goal that they were looking for. And then it's kind of like, oh, well, that's not it. There's something else, or, now I've got to, I've got to stay like this. I've got to maintain this weight, or I've got to, keep everybody else happy so that this situation can stay the same. Or maybe there's another goal that actually, maybe it wasn't this. Maybe I need to actually do this other thing to make me feel happy. And I think the reason for that, well, I know that the reason for that is that we're generating that I'll be happy when thinking from inside of us. And so we then will naturally set ourselves another goal. It's like we get there and we think, oh, well, I don't feel that thing that I thought I was going to feel. I thought when I got to this place, everything would suddenly fall into place. It's a bit like the fairy tale marriage. The prince marries the princess and they live happily ever after. Well, there is no such thing because life goes on. So
it's very much sort of our society now is very driven by goals. Do you believe? I really believe that. I'm in some business groups and it's all about the goal, set your goal. And sometimes I'm thinking, I don't know what the goal is. I've no idea.
Yeah.
I have ladies in the class like that, and they'll come along and they'll go, I don't really know what my goal is. And I'll say, well, absolutely fine. Come along, do the exercise, enjoy the information that you're given, embrace it. They've got friendships within the group, and that's really important to me now. I know I've come from that slimming club background, but now my groups are very much about coming and enjoying your life now, but also enhancing your health at the same time. And hope everyone understands that's where I'm coming from. Now, the side effect of that is actually weight loss. So it's always like the side thing that comes after that. It's the result of that, but it isn't the actual goal, and it's almost like a journey. And especially going through the menopause, you know, people were struggling. I mean, I'm in it too. I know I had a really bad day yesterday, I don't mind saying. It was just awful day. And but the thing is, if you're aware of that and you know it's coming, and that's what my group's again about. So if you're going through the menopause, you'll find that there's other people having the same experiences as you, and we can all sort of hug together kind of thing and go, it's fine, you're going to be fine, let's have a good laugh now. So it's all about, well, I try to teach that we want to live now in the present and then make that journey. And, you know, before we know it, yeah, we will be out of the menopause, you know, and we will still be enjoying our lives.
And that's just so vital, isn't it? You know, you said I teach that we need to live in the now, you know, because we do live in the now. You know, that's all actually we've got. And if we think we're living in the future, we're living for the future, we're actually mistaken. We cannot live in any moment except this one we've got. And the more that we mentally are taking ourselves off to this imagined future, the less we can actually just appreciate and get anything out of the time that we're in. So that kind of, I need to achieve that goal to be happy. It's the thing that kind of takes us out of the present moment and makes it very difficult for us.
Yeah.
And there was something else you said then about I've forgotten what it is now. Something that really, really struck me in what you said about.
Okay, you have a think about that. And I just want to give the ladies an example of somebody that came to my class many years ago. Her name was Julie, and she came along and she had really set out, which was in the days, I was so excited about this. She'd written down on a piece of paper all her goals, all the dates that she wanted to achieve them by. And this is, you know, that's how it was. We didn't really talk about she was going to be happy then, but in herself, I just knew that was the case. She wanted to lose 9 stone, I think it was, and she did it. And every single week she came, she did everything right. And every week she was slimmer of the week. You know what though? She never went out. She didn't really have a life, and she did start to say to me, you know, oh God, I can't wait for this to be over because I'm not having a life. And at the time I was thinking, God, you've stopped your life to do this. This is so important to you. Now, that was my mindset then. This is many years ago. We didn't sort of think about, I wasn't aware of this stuff either. I was just thinking about the numbers as well. I was just in the slimming club. And she did achieve her goal. And I think it took 9 months actually to do 9 stones. So it was a brilliant achievement. And then she left the group. And she was obviously seeing it as a goal, and that was it, done and dusted. That's what my slimming group was all about. It was all about just losing that weight and then leaving and being normal again, as she would put it. And then I saw her on social media a few years later, and that she'd had actually gained all the weight and more. And I did actually message her to see how she was feeling, and she was very unhappy. And you know what, it wasn't what she really wanted, really.
Yeah, so that totally resonates with what I was trying to remember, which has come back to me, which is this, so you said that some people are like Julie, who are going, I know exactly what my goals are, and other people are going, I don't know what my goals are. But either way, you know, the reason Julie set herself those goals is because she believed that when she achieved those goals, she would feel a certain way. And, you know, this is what I keep coming back to with, you know, whoever I work with and whatever it's about, is that, you know, we want to achieve certain things. And we think that those things will give us this certain feeling of peace of mind or happiness, or whatever you want to call it, contentment. But when we get there, we find that thing doesn't give us the feeling. So then we go searching for something else. Well, so maybe it wasn't about losing weight, or it wasn't about being healthier. It must be something else. So I go off and look for that other thing. And it can be exhausting because you're constantly looking for something else. And I think the reason that doesn't work is because the thing that people are really looking for is the feeling. That's what they want. They want to feel, you know, isn't that what we all want? Just to feel okay about ourselves, to have peace of mind, that wonderful feeling of just, it's okay to be who I am, I'm just at ease, you know. And sometimes people experience that when they're, for example, on holiday, and then they go, oh well, that's because I was on holiday and I'm in this lovely place and I'm, you know, I'm not at work, and you know, it really looks like that's what's causing it, but actually it's that they've calmed down out of all their noisy thinking that's going on in their head, because it's what's going on inside of us that creates those feelings.
Definitely, yes.
It's never the weight you are, or how healthy and fit you are, or, you know, not that those aren't really important parts of your life, but they're not the way to go at it. They're, you know, I think you said it earlier, they're almost the sort of byproduct of, if you stop kind of having a go at yourself and telling yourself, you know, I need to be like this, and just realizing that actually inside you are what you need to be. The outside stuff is more able to kind of sort itself out.
I've actually, another example of that actually, Lizzie, is that many of my ladies that go on holiday actually lose weight. I would say over the years, I'll give it 80% people actually do lose weight, and particularly the ladies that are over 40. Now, I'm obviously working with that group a lot more now. And the reason is, there is actually a physiological reason for this, is because cortisol, which is your stress hormones, when they're elevated, it's very difficult to lose weight. And in fact, you can gain weight by eating, even if you eat the healthiest food and exercise like crazy, you just can gain weight. So when you're on holiday, society kind of goes, oh, it's okay, you can just eat what you like and relax. That's what holiday's about. It's all the marketing's around relaxing. And absolutely, yes, we all do that, and that's fabulous. But I would say that's the reason why the ladies actually don't gain weight. They can actually lose it. Many of them are more active, of course, as well. That comes into play. It's hotter, so you're eating different foods. There are other that kind of thing. But I would say most of it is because they relax your mind. You're much more relaxed about what you're eating. You're accepting yourself. You're not beating yourself up, and so therefore your stress hormones are lower, and therefore you can lose weight. So stress becomes, you know, part of it. I will be happy when you're actually stressing yourself out too much. It really doesn't need to be that way.
Yeah, the goal itself becomes a stressor, or it might be the lack of a goal. I haven't got a goal. What's my goal? I really ought to have a goal. You know, all that stuff is just a whole load of thinking that gets in the way. And and when, you know, your ladies are on holiday, and, you know, like, we're all relaxed and having a wonderful time, you know, what I've really seen is that isn't something that is only available when you're on holiday. You know, that's a cultural thing, I think, that we're all told, oh, it'll be okay when I'm on holiday, or it's that can't wait till Friday kind of mentality, isn't it? But actually that's not true, because, you know, the Friday's the day when I can relax is just a made up thing as well. And okay, so we might be busier in the week, and, you know, we've got more happening, and, you know, when we're on holiday there's less happening, and, you know, I'm not denying that, but there's a lot of the stuff that goes with all of the busyness that we don't have to take on board. We don't have to buy into that. I can't enjoy myself because it's Monday, or I can't enjoy myself till I'm on holiday, or whatever it is.
I mean, this is another subject that we need to do another video about, but I've just popped into my head thinking, people say, it's Friday, I need to celebrate, so I need to drink and eat heavily. So that's, again, association of times. You know, but we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah, because the thing that really, you know, what we're really looking for is that feeling. It just always comes back to that. And if you believe that you can only get that feeling by eating or drinking or whatever it is, then that becomes a sort of your pattern. But it, you know, however much it looks like that, I just know that that's not the case.
Okay, so I'm going to throw some questions out there, because if it was me listening to us, I'd be saying, yeah, but I'm 3 stone overweight, and, you know, I don't like my body. You know what, it's stressing me out. I don't want to go out. I have heard this from ladies before. They don't actually go out, and their confidence is zero because of it. How do you think, how can they make the first step to change their mindset on that? It's tricky. It's a big subject, isn't it?
It is. And I think that, it's the opposite of I'll be happy when. It's I can't be happy because I'm a certain way. I can't be confident because. And to me, it's just, it's just not true. And I think if you look at, there's a whole range, isn't there, of people in the world or in this country, that we meet who are overweight, not overweight, overweight to varying degrees, whatever. And then there's a whole range of people who are happy, confident, not confident, unhappy. Again, there's a whole sliding scale of that. And I think if you matched up the sort of tried to match up that, happiness and overweightness or whatever, there wouldn't be a correlation. There are people who are overweight who are stressed. There are people who are overweight who are not stressed, who are unhappy about the weight, who are just getting on with it and not bothered. There are people who are a healthy weight who are delighted and happy with their lives. There are people who are healthy weight who are totally miserable.
Yes, definitely.
I'm working with a woman at the moment who is an ultra runner, whatever that means. She runs tens of miles. She's super duper fit, blah blah blah. And she's just totally hates herself, her body, there isn't a correlation.
Yeah. And that's what makes it so tricky.
Yeah, but I believe that that's the one thing that's keeping you stuck.
Yeah.
Is what's keeping you stuck, because it's not that. You're looking in the wrong direction. It's something inside of you that's saying, I'm not good enough in some way. And whatever you did about your weight or your health or while you've still got that not good enough thing going on, that's you're just going to create it in some other area of your life. So it's for me, it's just an insight into the fact that whatever we believe about ourselves is a story that we've made up, and that there are other ways of looking at that.
So what I try to do, because I'm similar, if I'm honest, have good days and bad days, like I say. And some days, now what I've started to say, when those words come into my mind, I say to myself, do I want those thoughts to be true? And then, okay, we could take this a further, because then if I might then look in the mirror and go, but it is true, kind of thing. But
one's own thinking always looks true, because that's how the system works. We're designed to believe our thinking. It's there. It looks really, really true. And for me, the thing that makes the difference is seeing that just because it's thought, it's going through your head, it doesn't make it true. But also,
it's not true. Don't be silly.
Nothing you think is necessarily true. However true you've always thought it is. But also, you said something just back then. In fact, you said it a couple of times about having a bad day, and oh, I have bad days too. And I think there's this kind of assumption in lots and lots of things in society. Everything that we hear, that what we're really aiming for is a life where we don't have any bad days, or we don't have any bad times, where we're basically like, oh yeah, it's all fine now. Well, that just is not reality. There will always be stuff that is is ideal and is less than ideal, is good and is bad, but however we judge it, there's always going to be that. There's going to be times when we're thinking, oh, I've done brilliantly, and there's going to be times when I think, oh, just what the hell am I doing? There's always going to be that. And for me, a huge breakthrough is realizing that is normal, so that when you go into this, oh, I'm having a bad day, it's not like, oh, that means, I've fallen off the wagon, or that means I'm useless, or that means I'm never going to manage. It doesn't mean that. It just means you're a human being and you're doing that thing. And the less that you kind of you make a judgment of it, the better. So when you said, oh, I had a bad day yesterday, well, yeah, and that's it. And today's different. But, I think
basically that really comes down to self-judgment. what we, you know, how we judge ourselves, how we want to be perceived by the outside world. Gosh, this is a huge, we can't be,
we could go on forever, because self-judgment is, you know,
we need to do a different one on that, a new video on the judgment.
A massive thing. Because we think that that's helpful. The more I tell myself off and beat myself up, the better it will be. Well, you know, people listening, how long have you been trying that for, and how much success have you had with it?
Absolutely.
It is not the way forward. It just isn't. You know, being kind to yourself and knowing that you've got so much more going for you than you've ever thought, and that, you know, when you have, you know, how often do you hear people saying a positive thing about themselves and go, oh no, well, I don't mean to brag. You know, it's like you're not allowed to say good things about yourself. You can say as much nasty, insulting, critical stuff about yourself as you like. Well,
people love you for that, don't they? Love you. No, they don't. It's so funny. So we're going to wind it up there now. Lizzie's just going to talk through her program that she has at the moment, and then I'll talk a little bit about our program too.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. So my Permission to Be You program, I've last week I was starting the launch. I've actually delayed it till next week, and what I've done is I realised that a program called Permission to Be You has an intrinsic difficulty, which is that the people that really would get a lot out of it are struggling to give themselves permission to do it. So I'd had so many conversations with women who I just thought, oh, I just really would love to work with you on this program, and then they were going, oh, I can't afford it, or I don't think I've got time. Or so what I've done is I've reduced it to, it's now 6 weeks, and we're going to meet as a group once a week for 6 weeks, and I've drastically reduced the price just to help people to give themselves permission to take that first step.
So it's all online, isn't it, Lizzie?
It's all online, conversations and videos and other content. And there's a really, really great group of women coming together. So if you want to find out more about that, then, you know, just let me know. Thank you.
Okay, and my group, it starts again on the 3rd of July, and this is all about the practical side of eating, menopause, exercise, and every day you get support from me through a Facebook group. And the first week I will be coaching you through a 7-day plan to get you on the road to where, you know, to get healthy. And like I say, it's all about health. The side effect will be weight loss, but this is about health for the 40+ woman. So if you are interested, please message me or comment below with yes, and I'll message you with some more information on that program. It starts on the 3rd of July, and I'll send you the link. So thank you very much, Lizzie. We'll wind that up now, and hopefully we'll be back next week with more. This is really cool.
And I'd love to hear people's comments and, you know, what they've heard in that, and, you know, and questions. And, you know, if you think, well, that's a load of nonsense, you know, tell me that too, because it'd be great to start that conversation.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye for now.